Okay, hold on, let me, Good evening, everyone. I'm going to call the meeting to order. Would everyone please stand for a short prayer and a salute to our flag? Almighty God, grant us the wisdom to make those decisions that are in the best interest of our residents. May the Heavenly Father of us all bless those who have given the ultimate sacrifice in service to our nation, and may He watch over and protect our servicemen and women now guarding the gates of freedom. Young Scout, I'd like you to do the Pledge of Allegiance with the blue. Go ahead.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Jessica, notice of publication.
Take notice that this regular agenda meeting of the Mayor and Borough Council being held on the 17th day of August, 2026 has been posted and advertised in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975.
Roll call.
Councilpersons Blumer, Khaleesi,
Here.
Novak. Here. Rios.
Here.
Sinarski.
Here.
Zabrowski.
Okay, Council President, if you would.
I move the following minutes of the mayor and council.
There are none.
Oh, we have none, so.
Yeah, there's all the way to old
stand
business.
by. There is no minutes to move.
Nothing. Okay. Proclamations. Okay. Anything for executive? Boy, this is a summer meeting. Old business, Jessica?
Public hearing on the following ordinance, ordinance number 17-26, Borough of Saraville, County of Middlesex, and ordinance accepting deed of dedication and easements from Parlin, Section 1, Urban Renewal LLC.
Okay, at this time, Councilman Zabrowski,
We got to open. to
at
the
this
public.
time, I'm going to open the public portion for questions or comments on ordinance 1726. Are there any questions, comments? Councilman Zabrowski?
Thank you, Mayor. I move the public hearing be closed. The ordinance adopted on second and final reading and advertised according to law.
Is there a second? Second. Roll call?
Councilperson Zabrowski.
Yes.
Khaleesi.
Yes.
Novak.
Yes.
Rios.
Yes.
Sinarski.
Yes.
Okay, on the appointments, there's an unexpired three-year term on the Cultural Arts Committee. I'm going to appoint Barty Shaw. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion to.
Is there a motion?
I make a motion that the mayor's appointment be approved on roll call vote.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Councilpersons Novak.
Yes.
Khaleesi.
Yes.
Rios.
Yes.
Sinarski. Zabrowski.
Yes.
Okay, next item, new business.
Introduction of the following ordinance, ordinance number 18-26, Borough of Saraville, County of Middlesex, ordinance amending the borough's requirements for the Junior Firemen's Auxiliary.
Who's second on,
Councilman Rios.
Councilman Rios, if you would?
First read, yep.
Yep, first reading.
Move the ordinance to be approved on first reading, advertised according to law, and public hearing to be held on September 14, 2026.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Councilperson Rios.
Yes.
Lisi.
Yes.
Novak.
Yes.
Sinarski.
Yes.
Zabrowski.
This time, I'm going to open the public portion for questions or comments on the resolutions. Number 7. Are there questions or comments? Frank?
Okay, Frank Terzino, Canal Street Zero. We're talking about the resolutions, right? I can comment on question and
I can't
comment,
hear you, Frank.
question and comments on all resolutions at this time, is it might?
Yeah.
Okay. I see the resolution here, long time coming, but it's finally here.
What number, Frank?
216, I'm sorry. 2026, 216. Town Hall is the local historic site. I question the second paragraph here, whereas the borough is currently in the process of renovating the town hall. The referendum says preservation. I think that's the wrong word, and I think it's open to a whole bunch of interpretations. We like to have it, keep it consistent. The referendum says preservation. resolution should say preservation as well.
Well, hold on. Let me ask the attorney.
I'm just getting to the resolution, I'm sorry. I mean, yeah, it could be amended if that's the way the council like. It's just, at that point, it's semantics as to whether it's renovation or it's.
Which way do you want it, Frank?
Preservation.
We'd like to see preservation instead of renovation. This way it stays consistent with the.
You
reference.
understand it's, as far as the law goes, it's the same thing. It's just a
Oh, I
a
understand. but
semantic.
We know how
Okay.
people twist words around. We just like to keep it steady as preservation.
Is there any objection to this? Can we have the attorney change this and how do you want it, who needs to make the motion? And the council president makes the motion?
Well, we haven't adopted it yet or moved to adopt it yet, so we can just say that when the motion is made to adopt the resolutions, that resolution 2026-216 shall be amended in the second whereas clause to be, change the word renovating to preservation.
Okay, council president, you want to make that motion?
Yeah.
Yeah, at the end when we. adopt
Anyone-
all the others.
Anyone else have a comment on this? On this particular 216? Okay, it'll change,
I
Frank.
know it's a little nitpicking, but we gotta think down the line. Thank you.
Okay. Ken, did you have your hand up?
Thank you, Mayor. Ken Olszewski, Sayreville. Mine is the same resolution as Frank's, and it's pretty much the same, similar question. The resolution entirety, when I read it, said it's in the process of renovating the town hall, so we're changing it to preservation. But my question is, what's the meaning of that? Because the reason I asked that question, I've heard some rumors that they're going to put offices in this building. And the reason I question that, I've never heard anybody here talk about that. I come to most council meetings. I've never talked about what's going to happen to this building. I haven't heard that. I haven't heard a vote on it. And I'm just wondering where that came from and what kind of discussion and when we're going to have on what we're going to do with that building.
You want to go ahead with this?
We've not yet gotten, we've had several approvals from the council to move us through the process. The final iteration of that has not been presented to or voted on by the council yet.
And when you say the process, what do you mean by that?
Well, the determination by the referendum to preserve the building was the first step. Then the
Okay.
architect and the engineer did their preliminary work.
Got it?
Then the interior demolition occurred because there were things in there that were hazmat and whatnot. And now we're at the juncture where we need to execute and approve for the design, the final design, which has to get approved by the council. And then once we get past all of that, the council can authorize it to go out to bid.
Got it. So no decision has been made on,
Well, the decision, no, but the intent was if we were spending money to rehabilitate a building and make it useful again, was to get our employees that have been in temporary office trailers for 3 decades into an appropriate environment to conduct their work. So as part of the preservation of that building, it would be made publicly accessible and be usable by the borough, thus giving us 2 wins, one for preservation and one for having an appropriate workplace for our employees.
well, that's the part I have a little problem with because I've seen several things in publications that the mayor has said that the town hall may be relocating to Riverton. I saw that in the patch. I've seen it in several publications. So if in fact there's any truth to that, I don't know if you can speak on that, if you deny that, or if that's
I mean,
that's
there's,
what we're thinking about. So if we're going to move the borough hall, we're going to put another building here with office. And before you answer that, along with that, in September of '24, Sarah commissioned a report to what we're going to do on Main Street. And And part of that report said, well, we should buy the post office and/or the funeral home. So how does any of that coordinate with, it just seems like we're throwing darts against the wall and.
Well, I can't speak for the actions of Sarah. You would have to address them specifically as to what their ideas and projects are. I don't know.
Okay, well, Councilman Zabrowski is here. I don't know if he can comment on.
Well, Ken, we got to stick to the agenda. So
Oh, yeah,
your question is on, you can come back up at the open public portion and
I understand,
through
Mayor.
this.
Thank you, and I will, thank you. Just another follow-up on the building here. We talked a little bit, I didn't talk, but I heard a little bit at the last meeting about the safes have been removed and I don't know, or they throw, I saw a video of one thrown in a dumpster. Is that what we've done with the safes? Are they part of the
Anything-
historic? Can they be
Working-
part of the historic? And when it comes to the safes, have we looked at what was involved in them? Do we have a picture of them? Do we have a nameplate? Do we have the make on them? Do they have, and can we just dispose of borough property? I thought there were regulations on disposing of borough property.
Actually, that question was asked to us via email in the last week or two, and the borough attorney provided a response.
Can you tell us here tonight?
Yeah, if there is a value to the property, then it depends on what that value is. It can either be sold at private auction or private sale. It could be sold at a public auction. If there is no value to it, as determined by the borough, then it can be disposed of in any manner.
And has anybody determined that? Have you looked at whether it was value to it?
It was put, the way I look at it, it was part of the construction debris that had to be removed out of that building.
Doesn't make sense to me, but thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Heather?
Good evening. Sorry, I had to rush here. Good evening, Mayor and members of the Borough Council. My name is Heather Unoni. I reside at 15 Ida Street. I am speaking tonight, of course, as the president on behalf of the Sayreville Historical Society, on behalf of the Executive Board and its members, obviously. The Sayreville Historical Society is deeply committed, obviously, to preserving the rich history and heritage of our borough. While we generally support initiatives that protect our historical landmarks and buildings, we are deeply concerned by the specific language included in the proposed historical designation ordinance before you tonight. Specifically, we object to the clauses referencing the already started renovations. This wording has absolutely no place in a historical designation ordinance. The sole purpose of such ordinance should be to establish a clear, objective criteria for identifying and protecting our town's history. This is bulking something else in completely. By inserting language that attempts to regulate or retroactively address active ongoing construction work, the council creates a troubling perception. It leaves the public with an impression that there's a lack of transparency and that everything is not entirely on the up and up. Mixing building code disputes and ongoing renovation management into a historical preservation framework undermines the integrity of the designation itself. To maintain public trust and ensure this process remains clear, fair, and above board, we, or I should say, strongly urge the council to strike all language regarding existing renovations from the existing ordinance that is before us tonight. Let's keep the historical designation focused strictly on preserving the history, in this case, that building. That's really all I have to say about it. So thank you.
Thank you. Arthur?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Arthur Rittenhouse, 33 Delacat Lane. Speaking on 2026-216 and the importance of the word preservation as opposed to renovation. Unfortunately, when they tore down the inside of the firehouse, they didn't use One, an architect who's done historical restorations. I did research. The USA Architects have on their website 100 items, 100 different things they did. 3 of them were historical restoration. One of the 3 was Lehigh University. It was an excellent thing that they did. Beautifully written. They went in, they checked with the stakeholders, did everything. And at the one meeting we were at with the architect, instead of all the meetings we were supposed to be, one of the associates said to me, "Oh, we didn't do that. We were only the architect of record. We hired an architect that knows how to do restorations." The company that tore apart the inside, I don't know if they know what restoration means. As far as the safes are concerned, the safes were of historic value to the building. They were on a list that Frank Terzino had presented to the architect, to the mayor and council, and they were listed there. And the architect and the business administrator arbitrarily just threw those out and said, "No, we can't do that." So this is why the word preservation is important. No matter what we do inside that building, whether it be offices or anything else, preservation, woodwork, ceilings, they threw out tin ceilings that could have been preserved. I had spoken to another company. So it is important that it's preservation, not restoration or not whatever you're talking about. And may I talk about 26-17?
Go ahead.
All right. Notice this is about the bus depot. Hasn't been much said about it, but unfortunately, this bus depot is going to be sending 100 vehicles out onto Main Street at Crossman Avenue during the rush hour every morning and every evening, not to mention Bass Pro Shop and the traffic that's going to be on Main Street. As a resident of Main Street, I strongly object because we have not heard anything about this. I don't know where the planning was. 2 years ago, the business administrator told me the bypass had been approved, but then nothing has happened since then. I was on the bypass committee 6-7 years ago, and once the Corps of Engineers approved it, that would have relieved traffic. So putting the bus depot there, unfortunately, is going to cause major problems. You've got the Mako warehouses going up, and you already have Camelot right at the Main Street and the Main Street extension. So I think the public needs to know more about how you're going to handle all of that traffic. Thank you.
Are there any other questions or comments on the consent agenda? Eloy?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Council President Zabrowski, and the members of the council. I just want to take a moment on behalf of the Board of Education and myself to say thank you. The actions
Eloy, you got to identify yourself.
I apologize. You think I would be used to this, right? Eloy Fernandez, Laura Park. The actions being taken tonight concerning the bus depot is another example of what can happen when the borough and the Board of Education work together, communicate, focus on what is ultimately best for Sayreville. I have been extremely proud of the relationship built between our two organizations. We may serve the community in different ways, but at the end of the day, we represent the same community, the same families, and most importantly, they're all our children. Someone taught me that saying a long time ago. The borough has been an incredible partner to our school district, whether it's with police department, keeping our schools and students safe, recreation, working with our families, our community events, or in countless other things behind the scenes that occur every day that most people never get to see. The cooperation makes a real difference for our families, our community, and our students. I especially want to thank Mayor O'Brien, Council President Zabrowski, and Councilman Khaleesi for your extreme hard work in this particular matter. I can't count the countless number of hours, meetings, and phone calls we've had to move things forward. And I want to thank you for that today, and I want to thank you for the cooperation and the open lines of communication between the Board of Ed and the borough. Thank you.
Pleasure working with you. Are there any other questions or comments on the consent agenda? Being no other questions or comments, I'll entertain a motion. Council President?
Move the public hearing be closed and the consent agenda resolutions be approved on roll call vote with 2026-216 amended as described by council, which deletes or strikes the term renovation and replaces it with the term or the word preservation.
Is there a second? Second. Roll call.
Councilperson Zabrowski.
Yes, in reference to 2026-216, I also want to thank the Historical Society for their stewardship throughout this process on the building, and also personally from the opportunity to have very good and frank discussions over the last several months, which I think were very positive. Yes.
Lisi.
Yes.
Novak.
I have a question. In the fourth whereas, it says designation was not have. Obviously, there must be a typo there. What is that supposed to say?
Yeah, that's not the Queen's English.
Yes.
Well, now it's a king. Did she die?
Yeah.
All right.
It was just, it looks like it's just missing the word to, was not to have,
Does that make sense?
was not to have.
Was not to have what now? I wish I had a paper.
Is it a major or minor?
Oh, it's minor, but I mean, it should be corrected. It is a typo.
Okay, so it'll be corrected.
Yes.
Okay, anything else, Mary?
I just wonder, I don't have a hard copy of that, so I just might show it to you. That makes sense. I'm sorry.
No, I apologize.
When I was going over mine,
It was my fault. I had the typo in there.
does not have, to have the, what? To- Okay, all right, that makes sense. Yes. I'm just reading that. I'm saying, I don't know.
Rios.
My vote is yes. I have comments on three of them, and questions. On 216, just want to say that I'm very pleased to see this designation, because this is something that we've been trying to accomplish for years. It has come up for several times up for vote. It has failed to pass several times. And my question is, now that we formally recognize in the 1909 Town Hall Firehouse as a local historic site, what's the plan for preserving and restoring it going forward? Specifically, will the Sayreville Historical Society be involved in that process, and will they have the resources and support necessary to make sure the historic character of this building is carefully preserved and maintained? I think it's important that this designation be more than just a title. We have an opportunity to preserve a piece of Sayreville's history for future generations. And I'd like to make sure we have the right people involved and that the appropriate resources are dedicated to doing it properly. Before the renovation proceeds further, has the Historical Society had an opportunity to review the restoration plans and provide input on historically significant features that should be preserved? I have another comment for two more. Should I continue?
Anything else?
On Resolution 217, I just want to say I'm pleased that we're able to move forward with this settlement. There has been a lot of disagreements and litigation surrounding the bus depot, but continuing to look backward and assign blame isn't getting us anywhere. What's important now is that we have a resolution that allows both the borough and the Board of Education to move forward. Ultimately, this is about our students. The BOE can move forward with its bus depot plans, and we can move forward as a borough without continuing this costly dispute. I think putting this matter behind us and focusing on working together for the benefit of our community and, most importantly, our students is the right thing to do. I'm happy to support Resolution 217. I'm happy for the borough, happy for the Board of Education, and I'm happy for the Laurel Park residents. And lastly, on 218, before we approve the $200,000 for an emergency elevator contract, can we explain what happened with the previous repair? Are we receiving any credit, warranty coverage, or reimbursement for the money we already spent? And is this new work addressing the same problem? Can we clarify whether this 200,000 is for repairs to the existing elevators, or are we essentially replacing the elevator?
It's essentially a full rebuild of that elevator. The initial repair that occurred, there's the equivalent of a piston that sits below grade, which is what drives the whole apparatus. The repair was done. It was tested by the elevator company. It worked fine. The state inspector came in and we were made aware of a new rule, whereas they're obliging anybody with a public elevator that it must operate at maximum speed. So that, at the behest of the state inspector, that was done. The increase in speed, and I'm imagining the increase in pressure, caused that piston to blow out. So the options are this, and we went with the more economic of the two options. The first option was to excavate that old piston out of the basement, and then we would have had to engage in some very fancy directional drilling, because unlike when you're building from scratch, now we have to navigate in and around an existing building to have that drilling conducted. The method that we're going to employ, as far as I understand, and I'm the furthest thing there is from a mechanic, it'll be surface mounted on the bottom of the shaft, and it'll be basically a complete soup to nuts rebuild of the elevator.
And do we have a time frame? I'm sorry.
We don't yet, because in order to do the contract, we needed to give them, Danielle, was it 63,000, I think it was, to pay for the fabrication of the parts that were required to be done. We're still waiting for them to give us a performance bond, which we're obligated to do before we can give them the money to buy the property or buy the apparatus.
And this is the same company?
Same company.
Same company.
This is the second company, though. The first company we got rid of.
Okay.
It's the second company.
The original company that hadn't
Correct.
responded to us.
Correct.
Okay.
Will you let us know as soon as you have a time?
As soon as I do.
Yes, and I like my question about 216. My vote is yes on all of them. I just had a comment or question, but on 216, if I can get an answer on that. Thank you.
All right, so if I understood your question correctly, I've been asked by the council president to arrange a series of meetings with representatives from the Historical Society, the architect, and the engineer. We'll be doing that in the upcoming week, and they will have a seat at the table for all of the subsequent meetings up until the time where we get the project formulated and brought before the council for final approval to move forward with the project.
Thank you.
Sinarski.
Yes. At this point, we have half the chamber tonight is the Boy Scouts of America. Is there a representative of the Scouts here tonight? I know you had some questions. So in the event you had other things you wanted to do, I'm going to move you ahead in the agenda. So if you'd come up and give us your name and what you're looking to ask for tonight.
Sure. Thank you very much for getting us in earlier so they can get to bed on time. Jim McCracken, Sayreville, 405 Washington Road. Good evening, Mayor O'Brien and council members. I'm Jim McCracken. I'm the Scoutmaster for Troop 96 here in Sayreville. I applaud the town council and the mayor for recognizing the importance of recreation for our youth and community by paying the registration fees for the local sports teams. We are here tonight to ask you to consider paying the registration fees for members of the 3 troops and pack of Sayreville, of Scouting America, and the troops for the Girl Scouts of America. Not only does scouting work to help an individual scout learn to achieve goals, it instills in them the importance of servant leadership. It is an organization that continually gives back to the community and helps to make Sayreville a better place. 3 former Scouts of Troop 96 are currently serving in the military, 2 in the Coast Guard and 1 in the Space Force. At least 2 of our Scouts have volunteered for the Sayreville Emergency Squad. We have volunteered in town cleanups with Sayreville Feeds, the Memorial Day Parade, and after Sandy, doing yard maintenance on abandoned properties on Weber Avenue. Our Eagle Scouts have restored park and trail areas at Capic, installed Gaga pits at schools and parks, built a playground and a greenhouse at elementary schools, constructed planter boxes for the community garden, and helped with projects at our chartering organizations. Since being Scoutmaster, our Scouts have logged over 1,700 hours of labor on their various Eagle service projects. If town employees were being paid to do those projects at $25 an hour, the cost would be over $43,000. On top of that, many of the Scouts fundraised to purchase the materials to make those projects happen. That is the tally for one troop over a set period of time. Now multiply those numbers by 3 Scouting America troops and a Girl Scout troop since their inceptions, and you can see how much of an impact Scouting has had in Sayreville to make it a better place to live. I thank you for your time and attention and hope that you will strongly consider our proposal to help make Scouting as available as possible to future Scouts. It will be one of the best investments you can make.
Hey, Jim, thank you for coming. I think you have a lot of support up here. Many of us are former Scouts, some are former Eagles. But timing is everything. We adopted the budget at the last meeting. That being said, we're going to need to get more detailed on it, number of Scouts, amount of money, et cetera. And because we've already adopted the budget for this year, I'm not gonna make a guess. That being said, if you can get the numbers to Glenn.
Sure.
And again, it's an approximate. One of the things we found by doing this with youth sports is the participation in youth sports increased somewhere around 25%, which I think is fantastic. From talking to Eloy, who's the president of the Board of Education, 90% of the school, of the children in school, particularly the high school, are in extracurricular activities. So big fans of not staying home and playing video games. So that being said, we need more information, but also if you would reach out to your counterparts in the Girl Scouts of America, the Cub Scouts, the Brownies, let's make it all inclusive.
Sure.
And so we know what we're dealing with.
I had a couple of Scouts want to say stuff. Is that
Sure,
okay?
absolutely. Bring them up. Can you hand the microphone?
Jim, real quick, if they stay for the whole meeting, do they get their civil service
So,
merit
so
badge?
yeah, so that's one of the requirements is that.
Yeah, but they
the
can
citizenship and
make,
community and-
they can have permission to go out in the hall and run up and down.
All right.
So here you go.
So-
Jim, if you
so-
would, hand this to the Scouts.
So, yeah, so.
And when
I
they
know-
come up, if
this-
they give their names
Yep.
and what.
And also Grant, right, had some of that information. for
Yeah,
you.
and I'll get it to Glenn tomorrow.
All right.
Also, just on a side note, 5 years ago, Sayreville started its first girl troop,
Uh-huh.
and today we have 25 girls.
I see them. Welcome
We're the
aboard,
largest
ladies.
female troop in Middlesex or in Monmouth Council.
Say that again?
We're the largest female troop in Monmouth Council.
Well, it is Sayreville. I would expect no
And we
less.
want it bigger.
Okay. No, bring them
Robbie?
up to the front. That way they'll be on television. If you want to bring everybody up front, go ahead. You want to bring all the Scouts up front. And by the way, Troop Masters, thank you for the work you do.
Hello, Council. My name is Robert Murphy. I'm Troop 96's webmaster, and I have been in Scouting since I've been in the 3rd grade. And this coming September, I'm going to be going into my senior year. And Scouting has always been a very big part of what I've been doing outside of school. And before I started doing my sports, that was what I was doing all week. And I've learned very big, important communications and leadership skills through my troop and all the opportunities that Scouting has been able to give me. With outside of my troop experiences, they have the Order of the Arrow, which is Scouting's National Honor Society, and it deepens the intent to serve your community and to lead the people around you in a more effective manner than what your troop would be able to give you.
Thank you. Young man.
Good evening. My name is Charles Ritchie. I am a scout of Troop 96. I'm an Eagle Scout. I am 15 years old. Scouting has been a major part.
Pull it down, Eagle Scout. There you go.
Scouting has been a major part of my life. It shaped who I am. I can't even count how many times I've done service projects, service opportunities. Scouting has given me a lot of opportunities that I'm very thankful for. I go to Christian Brothers Academy, Lincroft, New Jersey. Scouting's helped me get into that. Both organizations have a lot of service. Scouting has given me a lot of life skills I could definitely take when I'm older. I'm interested in being an aerospace engineer, which definitely Scouting will help with that. So opportunities Scouting has given me is making friends, building brotherhood, and just getting to know people that are definitely going to be lifelong friendships that will carry on as I get older. I could not emphasize Scouting is something that is a very big part of my life. Anybody who I see, I always encourage to join. Thank you for your time. Yeah, have a good evening.
Thank you. Congratulations. Are there any other scouts or scout masters? Young man, I'd like you to come up and introduce yourself. This was the young man that did the Pledge of Allegiance. Come on up. Make your mother proud. First, look at the camera and wave so that your mother has it on video.
So, should I just say my name?
Go right ahead.
My name is Lionel Adamek, and I'm in Troop 97. I'm still a scout. I joined last year, but I'm trying to get Eagle by I don't know, 16. So I got tenderfoot this summer at camp. So I'm focusing a lot on scouts because it can help me in the future.
Good decision. Good decision. Anyone from the ladies troop would like, there's troop master, maybe she would like to speak? Don't be bashful. Come on up. You're the scout master. Well,
Mary Ann's one of our committee members.
how about Mary Ann how about the lady leadership come up for the ladies? The rest of the ladies in uniform, come on up. Come on up. Come on up. Right. You're the largest troop. Why don't you come to the rail, turn around and face the camera, and that way you'll be like movie stars. Cerebral movie star. Come on, ladies, come on up. Come on up.
My name is Marian Elizondo from Crestview in Sayreville, and I'm a mom of 2 Eagle Scouts through 95. And my daughter is one of the scouts with 777. She's currently a Life Scout and working on her Eagle project. And it's just an amazing feeling that I can go to camp and attend all of these things that I watched my kids, my boys go to. And now I'm able to be a part of that. And it's just an amazing feeling. And I'm gonna cry. I'm just so proud of all the hard work that these girls put into it. And it's amazing. We even belong to the Girl Scouts. And that's such an amazing organization that all of these kids can do activities for the town and just helps them become mature and beautiful individuals.
Troop master, if you'd come up and no, young lady, ask your mom to come back. Come up. Here, stand with your stand with the ladies. Get them all up here. There you go. It's like the senior prom. God, I didn't even know they had explorers anymore, Glenn.
So also,
You guys are terrible, right?
Hey, hand Jim the mic. Jim, we're gonna hand you a mic. That way it make life a little easier. Go ahead.
I'm trying. Mr. McCracken.
If you can't see yourself on,
There you go. Wave to the, go ahead and give a
if you
wave.
can't see yourself on that screen, you are not visible.
Now, listen, Jim, you can have the mic as long as you don't give it to Joe. You give it to Joe.
Amen. All right. All right. Everybody in?
Go ahead.
All right. Thank you very much.
We're proud of you. We thank you for coming here, and we're going to do our very best to make this happen. Did they knock the wire out? Ah, okay. Scout Masters, thank you. Thank you for all you do. By the way, there's a tireless volunteer in the back of the room named Joe McCoy, who has given more time, effort, and energy to the American Scouting than he. Joe, you got a good sense of humor, and we can kid each other. So a round of applause for Joe McCoy. Okay, that being said, next item.
Need a motion to accept the correspondence that's listed?
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Councilpersons Novak,
Yes.
Lisi,
Yes.
Rios,
Yes.
Narski,
Yes.
Dabrowski.
Okay, council reports, administration and finance, Councilman Novak, Councilwoman Novak.
Administration and finance. Well, we finally passed the budget. I see I need Donna. Donna would turn my mic on and off. We finally passed the budget, and we'll already, as Glenn was just telling me, that we're already looking at next year's budget, and we certainly will keep the Boy Scouts in mind. Being a Girl Scout leader myself for 9 years, I know how you got to pinch pennies. So that would be very nice. It would be nice if we could get more kids involved, if it would cost a little less. I just want you to know we worked very hard on this year's budget, and we will be working even harder on next year's budget because I'm one of you. We're all taxpayers up here. So other than that, I have one thing that I wanted to ask. It really doesn't have anything to do with finance, but since I'm talking now, the pictures that they put out about the damage to the firehouse next door. I know that's not structural, but are we preventing water intrusion? Because, I mean, water gets into all of those damaged fascia brick, the 2 layers.
Give you an update since the last meeting. We were authorized to have our structural engineer go out and look at the damage and come up with an interim repair plan.
Okay.
That's been done. He's prepared details. It's been sent over to the contractor that did the damage, and he's currently reviewing it.
Okay, every time we have a storm, I think about more water getting in between those 2 walls and it's not going to be long before we're not sweating. We're going to have freezing, and I know what that can do. Let me see. Was one of the thing which I can't read here. Oh, as far as you're going to form a separate committee to work with the Historical Society, or you're just going to bring them in to the other, to any meeting that we
The
have?
direction I received was to include them with a meeting with the architect, the engineer, and the council president.
Okay, all right. Mayor, other than that, progress.
Thank you. Councilman Kalasi, Recreation, then Councilman Rios, if you would do Public Safety and Public Works. So Councilman Kalasi, you're first up.
Okay, so first we have the Saraville, the free public library. So residents are encouraged to subscribe to our library at saravillelibrary.org to receive updates on all the happenings and events that our Saraville Free Public Library has to offer. It's important that I note tonight that Monday, August 24th through September 7th, there will be curbside service only, as there are lobby renovations taking place there. So the library is closed on Saturdays through the month of August, but on the days they're open, please call 732-727-0212 for a staff member to bring out your holds for curbside pickup during those renovation days. So outside book drops will remain open throughout the lobby renovations. And full service will begin after the holiday on September 8th. Next, on Office of Aging, I'd like to take a moment to highlight some of the upcoming events at our Active Adult Community Center on Tuesday, August 20th and Thursday, August 27th. The center will be offering bus trips to Point Pleasant. And on Wednesday, August 26th, they'll be hosting their annual ice cream social, which is always a fun opportunity for our members to come together and enjoy an afternoon of fellowship. So looking ahead to September, on Tuesday, September 1st, we'll have a lunch and learn focus, avoiding the scams that are out there presently. And it's going to be presented by Sophia Jenna from Equitable. And on Monday, September 14th, they'll be celebrating Grandparents' Day. So we have some wonderful activities coming up, and we encourage our active adults to join us and take advantage of all the center has to offer. Next is cultural arts. So tomorrow night at Kennedy Park, the cultural arts series continues with Big Bang Baby and a Beach Balls and Bubbles Bash. It's a great opportunity to get outside, bring the family, enjoy some live music, and spend time with friends and neighbors. We hope everyone comes out and helps us make this a fun summer evening for the whole community. And lastly, we have human relations. Now, human relations has been mostly on a summer break this year, but they are busy planning for the Monday, August 31st. It's National Overdose Awareness Day at 7 p.m. at the South Amboy Saraville Waterfront, which is called Raritan Bay Waterfront Park. So the commission is working with the South Amboy Elks Drug Awareness Committee and the South Amboy Saraville Rotary Club to provide purple flags and memorialize those that we knew and loved who have lost their battle with drugs. If you're interested in a flag or speaking or just to get information, please reach out to Lori Sinarski at 732-763-6232 or Mary Savinsky at 732-207-2035. The event is posted on multiple social media pages on Facebook, including my own, and also on the borough website on their calendar of events. So that's all I have for this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Rios, Public Safety and Public Works, please.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, and general public. Public safety progress. And the Public Works report, Department of Public Works continues to work diligently to provide the necessary services to our residents. We have had a normal summer and all operations are proceeding as expected. The department has also received its new street sweeper and the equipment is being used as intended. Our crews are continuing their regular sweeping and maintenance operation throughout the borough. As we begin to transition toward the fall season, Public Works is preparing for the changing weather and the additional responsibilities that come with it. The department continues to work nonstop to make sure our roads, properties, and public areas are properly maintained and that the needs of our residents are addressed. Public Works has also been working closely with Cultural Arts throughout the summer, assisting with the preparation and logistics for the various summer shows and events. Our employees play an important role behind the scenes in helping make sure these events are safe, organized, and enjoyable for our residents. I want to thank our Public Works employees for their continued hard work and dedication. A lot of what they do happens behind the scenes, but it has direct impact on the quality of life in Sayreville. On the general side, I want to recognize all the departments and employees who have helped make this summer a successful one for Sayreville. From Public Works and Recreation to Cultural Arts and our emergency services, it takes a coordinated effort to provide residents with a summer full of activities while keeping those events safe and well organized. I also want to remind everyone that the summer season may be winding down, but the work of the borough certainly doesn't. Our employees continue working every day to keep Sayreville moving forward. I'd like to take a moment to recognize the Sayreville Historical Society for everything they have done this summer. A special thank you to Frank and Heather and all the volunteers for putting together a mobile museum and for all the activities and programs that they have organized for our residents. They have done a fantastic job bringing Sayreville's history directly into our community and creating opportunities for residents and families to learn and participate. I really appreciate the time and effort they have put into these programs, and I'm looking forward to seeing more from the Historical Society in the future. Yes, we were there yesterday making bricks. I mean, they're doing a lot of things around town, and so they deserve all the praise. So thank you, Frank, Heather, and all the volunteers for all the work you're doing for Sayreville. And lastly, in light of our correspondence, there is a memorandum from East Brunswick for a zoning ordinance banning data centers that they sent to us so we can look it over. I was never comfortable with a time limit because putting a time limit, it makes you either make a rush decision, not have all the facts because you're rushing for that time limit that you're putting on yourself. There may be maybe in less time, the data centers can come out with new technology, with a self-sufficient facility. They can pay their first share of taxes and maybe provide all residents with solar panels. And maybe they can do that in 2 months or 3 months, not 18. So I was never comfortable with the 18-month period. We have seen a lot of towns around us putting banning data centers until further notice. So therefore, and given that, we just received this memorandum from our neighbors in East Brunswick, I would like to make a motion for a permanent ban that will give the residents and the governing body plenty of time or infinite time to make a thoughtful decision and not rush a decision to allow these data centers in.
Okay, before I call for a roll call, I did want to make a comment on this. One of the issues that Sayreville has to be aware of is the Hercules property did allow data centers. So I did send to the redevelopment director that there was a town in New Jersey that had a similar thing where the property had allowed a data center, and then the governing body quickly put a ban on it. And the property owners quickly took that municipality to court. So, I mean, the governing body is free to do what the governing body wants to do, but prudence would dictate we go slowly so that what we do has meaning rather than kind of like a knee-jerk reaction. So it's a very popular thing right now to ban everything. The other thing that everybody needs to understand is a ban is as easily to take off as it is to put on. There's no permanence. It's just for show. Makes everybody feel good. We're banning something, but it can be removed as quickly as it can be put on. So that being said, I would advise caution and prudence to my colleagues up here when it concerns this, because it is a permitted use, was a permitted use prior to this talk about banning the centers. And Saraville, quite frankly, has a lousy history in land use court. Again, caution is always better than making a lot of rash decisions. That being said, there's been a motion made. Is there a second?
Second. And I just want to have a comment too, when I second this. An 18-month moratorium, first of all, I'm not even sure whether that's legal because state law says moratoriums can't be for any more than 6 months. But let's just say it is. It will automatically disappear at 18 months. And unless you're paying attention, you're not going to know it. If we do a permanent ban, and then let's say in 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, 5 years, they come up with something that makes these things quieter and will not absorb as much electricity or water. We have to come back to the public with an ordinance and say, we want to change this. A moratorium that has a time limit on it just automatically disappears when that time is gone. And if you're not paying attention, you're not going to know it. If it's a permanent ban, we have to bring it back before the public. So I'm second.
Rios,
Yes.
Delisi,
Yeah, that's a no. So, we are going to be paying attention to this. I think the whole community is going to pay attention to this. So, with what the mayor said, makes a lot of sense. And I'm sure John could back that up too, and our attorney. But, yeah, that's a no.
Novak,
Yes.
Zinarski,
I'm a no. We have the same result. I'm still with the 18 months, which is down probably to 16 now, but we're still learning more and more about the data centers.
Zabrowski,
No, and I was going to save this for my report, but I'll bring it out here now because Alberto, I know, first of all, we shared that ordinance at the last SARA meeting. In fact, the last SARA meeting, which took place last Thursday, we had a workshop, and originally the workshop was designed for having a member of the Sierra Club to come in and give a presentation so that we could learn more from all facets of data centers. Unfortunately, she couldn't make it, so we have it rescheduled again. Point being is we didn't waste that opportunity. We took that opportunity to review actually 2 ordinances. One, East Brunswick's ordinance, which is not simply a ban that doesn't say anything. It's a ban, but it also specifies, which we're looking to do is performance specifications to ensure that there is meaning behind an ordinance, not simply words, because words aren't going to get us through that. Secondly, we also looked at the Bridgewater ordinance, which is a very thoughtful process put together as well, which is I think, a good starting point for us to do. We still have work to do to understand what's the impact this would have in Saraville, depending upon what type of data centers, because we're still learning that as well. So I think a ban at this point without any other words, again, would be kind of reestablishing something that wouldn't work before. The purpose of having an 18-month, and it doesn't have to be 18 months, we can get it done sooner if in fact we're able to get the study done, but we decided to take a thoughtful approach to this, and I hope everybody appreciates that. This is a ban. We have a ban against it. First of all, it was never allowed in 95% of the town. I want to stress that to begin with. We're only talking about there 1 or 2 tracks in the Hercules development, which makes it a smaller area that we're concentrating on. And we put a ban on that. So we are actively working on that. Alberto was at that meeting. We discussed those ordinances. We're moving forward. Our professionals are working diligently to look and get more information on that. And we've asked our engineers to also look into the performance specifications as well, so that we can do something that's thoughtful and represents our town and make sure we protect our residents as best as we can. So I am a no.
Okay. Anything else, Alberto?
That's it for my report. I just
Okay.
wanted to maybe point out the great job the cultural arts is doing. This is us. This is a selfie with John, Mike, me and Mary and Hervé coexisting together and having fun. So it is possible.
Okay.
I had a question with public safety. I was wondering, data centers are a big talk in the town, but what's becoming a big talk in the town too is flock cameras. And I was wondering if Glenn could work with the police chief and his command staff and maybe set up something where the people that sell the flock
We're
cameras.
giving reports right now.
I know, well, this is public safety report. That's why I'm saying it now, because Hervé isn't here.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to know if maybe we can set up a meeting where we can ask questions. I mean, there's questions that I didn't even think about. I was all in favor of them, and now I have questions too. And if we could set up something like we did the other night with, at the senior center,
What do you want the meeting with?
people, the police command staff and the flock people, the people that sell us the flock
Yeah.
cameras.
Glenn, if you would, please.
Thank you.
Okay. Water, Sewer, Environmental, Councilman Sinarski.
Thank you, Mayor. Water and sewer, not much has changed. We're up to 212 million gallons produced last month in potable water. That's as close as we've been to the month of July, which is 211. The water department's been very proactive as far as doing outside jobs and stuff because the weather's been very cooperating with them. They're doing a tremendous job on that. On our community garden, they had their first large watermelon. That's something pretty cool out of those boxes over there. All the tomatoes are really growing good. All the other fruits and vegetables that they grow there are really producing. Also, they donate to Saraville Seniors Building, the Active Adult Center, and they also donate to a couple local churches in town. So they're really, Anton and his crew are really doing a great job there. The second half of the growing season is going to be coming, like radishes and other vegetables that grow this time are being planted again. So the fruit is going to continue. Plus, we got the farmer's market on Thursdays. Whoever doesn't go to that, you got to go and stop in, take a walk around the farmer's market, see the people, meet the people. They got a lot of homemade things there, and they come there to sell their wares. That's the end of the water and farmer's garden. The next one I have, last month's meeting, we had a young man here named Eddie Naratko. I met with him last week and we walked through Fjellek Park. This man has a passion for the park. He knows every plant that's there. I showed him stuff that I used to play on because I grew up in Fjellek Park. We walked around the pond. We showed him where the baseball fields were. We spent an hour walking around there talking about the field. And I'd like to get him involved somehow with Glenn or whatever on one of the committees or something for the improvements that are going to be done with Fjellek Park, because this man has an interest, and I want to preserve that, to have somebody that has that much interest in the Fjellek Park. Okay,
Second.
so we're going to get with him. What else we got here? I'll make one comment about the firehouse. I am going by the firehouse weekly, seeing if there's any changes in the structural integrity of the front where the safe was removed and everything else. Honestly, I don't see any changes. But there are 29 windows in that building. 11 of those 29 are damaged and they have wood surrounding the windows. So I'm guaranteeing you almost every one of those other windows is leaking also. So beside the front one that was damaged, we also have other maintenance as far as the windows being secured, so no further damage has to be done inside this building. From the cellar up to the top, there's at least 11 of them that are outdone with wood. And the other ones that are remaining are guaranteed over 60 years old. There's probably water coming through them too. So stating that we're going to have water problems because this one in the front is damaged, yes, I agree with that. But there's other things that we have to move forward with, continuing the progress on this building. That's the end of my report. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Sash. Planning and Zoning, Council President.
Thank you, Mayor. And once again, I just want to say welcome to our scouts again. As a former scout, I'm very proud of you being here this evening and representing yourselves as well as you did. Those that spoke, you spoke tremendously well. And I know that your Scoutmasters are doing a wonderful job. So again, thank you very much for doing that. The Eagle Scouts banquet in January is always one of the highlights for me. I just wanted to address very quickly, I know Ken had asked a question about the Sarah study on the downtown area and how it was commissioned. Purpose was very simple, we have a lot of open storefronts down in our downtown area. And in order to be able to see if we can make it a much more viable downtown area, in other words, where you can walk, you can bicycle, where you can enjoy having a coffee, lunch, breakfast, or whatever you might want, or just simply a stroll to get down to the parks. We want to make it much more functional. So we took it upon ourselves through Sarah, because Sarah does study those things, to be able to commission a study. And the study was expansive. They gave a number of suggestions of how to be able to do that. Some as simply as more receptacles. Some as simple as highlighting your sidewalks and your crossings to make them easier and safer. Others had to do with speed limits. Some were much more ambitious, and that were actually suggesting that the borough do purchase property. Some of them, such as that, are pretty far down the line, but we had the gamut of suggestions, and we're working on those. Soon you're going to see receptacles coming down. We've already changed the speed limit. There's also work already involved for extra lighting for crosswalks to make them safer, to make them more apparent for everybody. So we are working on that. So I hope I've answered that question for you so that you understand it. Just so you know, the firehouse was never included in that because we didn't want that to ever become a conflicting interest. We knew at that time when we were doing it that there was a referendum was out there, and we didn't want to make it inclusive because we didn't want it to become an issue beyond what it was already. As far as the Borough Hall is concerned, I have no idea where that conversation came. I love this building. Quite frankly, I think it should stand in perpetuity. But I just wanted to answer your question so you know what the study was about. And Mayor, that's my report.
Thank you.
Excuse me, Mayor, I got one thing I'd like to add to John.
Sash.
John also mentioned about Main Street. I met a veteran over the weekend, former police officer from Saraville, and he wants on Main Street for repair, not for repairs, on the telephone poles or light poles or something. He wants veterans' flags, names, pictures on those poles. I think that's a tremendous idea. I'm bringing it up at the table now. Maybe we could think about it in the future.
Andrew and Ken Kelly are working on that.
Okay, because Henry got me.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, thank you. End of my
Okay.
report, and sorry to interrupt.
No, not a problem, Sasha. You're always looking out for the best interests of the borough. That being said, it's my report, and the first thing I'd like to do is apologize to the Girl Scouts that are here tonight and ask them to come up with either with a Scoutmaster or their mom and wave at the camera so you're in our archives forever and ever and ever. Come on, girls. You want to hand? Would you hand them stand in front of the podium and look out towards the camera, give a wave? Give a wave. And I'm gonna, hold on, ladies. I want you to tell us about the Girl Scouts, okay? Come on. And then you have to sing a song, all right? Come on, Scouts.
Go first. You go. You go.
I need to know who you are for the record. What's your name, dear?
My name is Quinn.
Well, that's you're batting 500, Quinn. And your friend? What's her name?
Her name is Michaela.
She's batting 500 too. That's good enough. Are you going to sing for us or are you going to tell us about the Girl Scouts? Your choice.
Tell
No.
about the Girl Scouts.
Okay, go ahead. Tell everybody about the Girl Scouts. Go ahead.
What do you like about it? That's our, you don't listen to him.
What do you like about the Girl Scouts? Besides the cookies?
I like to hang out with my friends.
There you go. There you go. Thank you, ladies. You make Sayreville proud. Second thing, I always believed, having been in enough campaigns myself, it takes a certain amount of courage, win, lose, or draw. And we have a candidate in this year's race who was taken to the hospital, had an operation. He's okay. His name is Bernie Bailey. He's a lifelong resident of Sayreville. And like I said, it takes courage to put your name and yourself out there. So Bernie, from the mayor of Sayreville and from the governing body, we wish you a quick and successful recovery, and you're in our hearts and in our prayers. So, council. All right, and then I'm gonna, where's Eloy? Eloy, I need you to come up and talk about the fundraiser at Mrs. D's Empanada store that you brought me to and had a great time.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It was a great event held by Stephen and his wife Dee. Mama D's is located on the corner of Minnesink and Washington Road. In addition to being the best empanadas you're going to have anywhere, they truly are great community partners and give back so much. We all know about the tragedy that happened in Venezuela with the earthquakes. Right away, first thing Steve and Dee did was figure out how they can help. So they reached out to a number of former Yankee players. Ramiro Mendoza was there, Chuck Knobloch was there, and Luis Soto. They all came and did a signing as a fundraiser for the players for the victims in Venezuela. What a lot of people don't realize is the reason they were in the area was because the next day was the old timers game for the Yankees. The night before, which was the night of the fundraiser, the Yankees have a dinner for all of the players. Those three players chose to skip that dinner and come to this event to help raise funds. They donated their time and their fame, and Mama D was able to raise, I believe, close to $5,000 for the victims in Venezuela. That was a great job by them and a great job by the players sacrificing to be there. So I want to thank you, Mr. Mayor, for coming out and supporting that event. That meant a lot to the community as well.
My pleasure. My pleasure. But Steve and Mrs. D are great corporate residents, and they make great food. So
They truly are. They're
Yep.
always there at any time that there's a need. They always step up. They give so much back to the community. It's truly amazing. They are some of the most amazing individuals I know. And like you said, in addition, the best empanadas anywhere.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Eloy. One last thing. The steel mill, Sayreville has the only steel mill in New Jersey, and they make a product called rebar, which you use in concrete. It strengthens the concrete when they're making bridges and things like that, buildings. They are a very quiet but a very supportive corporate resident. And I had a call from them this week, and I wanted to give them a thank you. They donated the handicap ramps for the garden. They made it handicapped accessible, and they do it quietly, and they do it because they're just good people. They're just good corporate residents. So our thanks to the Sayreville Steel Mill, to the men and women who work there, and they're great people, really great people, quiet supporters, which is, as they seek no publicity, but it's my job to give it to them. So anyway, thank you. And with that, we'll go to agenda items.
Application for a social affair permit received from American Legion to serve beer and wine at their annual football tailgate party on September 27th on their grounds.
Is there any objection? Next item.
Authorization to discharge of mortgage for 14 Harrison Street.
Any objection? Next item.
Authorization to award a non-fair and open contract to TK1 Solutions of Old Bridge for IT support and maintenance in an amount not to exceed $44,610.50.
Any objection? Next item.
Authorization to submit the 2026 annual action plan for the following projects: public infrastructure improvements to War Memorial Park, $205,123 and the grant administration for $53,772.80.
Next item.
Request to travel received from the Sayreville Fire Department to attend the annual Firemen's Convention from September 17th to the 20th in Wildwood.
Any objection? Next item.
Request received to hold block parties from the residents of Pine Tree Drive between Cypress and Buttonwood on September 5th from 9 a.m. to midnight, and then residents of Fabajeski Way cul-de-sac on September 12th from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m.
Any objection? Next item.
Authorization to purchase 95-gallon Omni carts from IPL North America through the Houston Galveston Area Council Co-op in an amount not to exceed $42,690.73.
Any objection? Next item.
Authorization to execute a new 5-year solid waste disposable agreement with the Middlesex County Utilities Authority for the period of January 1, 2027 through December 31st, 2031.
Any objection? Next item.
Authorizing the award of a contract to Pyro Star Entertainment for fireworks at the Festival of Lights not to exceed $15,000 on October 3rd, rain date October 10th, and the Latino Festival on September 19th, rain date September 20th.
By the way, everyone, that is, that company, Pyrotech of North Carolina, that is a son of Sayreville. That is Frank Terzino's son, who did a superb job on our 4th of July celebration. So Frank, tell your son thank you.
Authorization to approve a Treatment Works approval permit application for a transcontinental gas pipeline.
Any objection? Okay,
Two personnel items, Mayor. These are backfilling vacancies. These are not new positions. Authorization to appoint Kurt Holsey as plumbing subcode official part-time in the construction department effective September 1st, 2026.
I know he's replacing somebody, but is he a new hire or did he hold another position? with
New,
this-
new hire.
New hire. Does he live in Sayreville?
I don't know.
any objection?
For borough ordinance.
Any objection?
I have an objection if they're not borough.
I can find out and let you know. I don't know. I mean, it gets advertised as appropriate, but not everybody has this particular credential. It's like trying to find hen's teeth, but I'll get you the answer on that first thing in the morning.
Thank you.
Other than that,
Well,
take a roll call on it, please. Is there a motion? John?
Yeah, I'll make a motion of authorization to appoint Kurt Holst as plumbing subcode official in a part-time construction department effective September 1, 2026.
Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Councilperson Zabrowski.
Yes.
Khaleesi.
Yes.
Novak.
He's a borough resident. So no, until I know.
Or no?
No, until I know if he's a borough.
Rios.
Same, I'd like to know if it's a resident.
Zinarsky.
Yes.
3-2.
Okay, next item.
Authorization to appoint Kimberly Sutton as a public safety telecommunicator per diem in the police department effective September 1st, 2026.
Any objections?
Same question. Don't know.
All right, take a roll call, please. John, if you would, please.
Yeah, I'll make a motion authorizing the appointment of Kimberly Sutton as public safety telecommunicator in a per diem position in the police department effective September 1, 2026.
Roll call. Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Councilperson Zabrowski.
Yes.
Khaleesi.
Yes, we have police department personnel at that even live out of town. So,
We have a ordinance
Okay.
and we don't even know.
Novak.
Not unless I know whether they're a borough resident. We have a
Yes.
borough ordinance that says we should be hiring a town and I asked the question and nobody knows. That's a problem.
I'd like to know the same if they're a resident or not to make my decision.
Zinarsky.
Yes.
3-2.
Okay. Borough engineer, Danielle's report, CFO's report.
Oh, sorry. Thank you, Mayor. I have two grants to amend the budget to include, and that is the 2026 Clean Communities Grant and the 2026 Recycling Tonnage Grant.
Okay. Resolutions needed. Okay. Engineers report.
No report this evening, Mayor.
Okay. Borough attorney's report.
Nothing this evening. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay. Public portion. This time we're going to open the public portion for questions or comments. Wait a minute. Let me get, Young fella in a white shirt.
My name is Philip. I live at 2304 Lakeview Drive. I've lived here since I was 7 years old. For almost 15 years, I've gone to several schools. I went to Truman all the way. I walked to the high school. I walked to the middle school. And then I attended Rutgers as a commuter, and I just graduated this year. Never in all my life living on Lakeview did I ever feel as if I was unsafe or like my life was in danger. Never did my car get robbed. Not even a package has been stolen from in front of my apartment. And so you could believe my surprise when I looked at the entrance to my neighborhood and saw a flock camera there. But where there's only one entrance into and out of my neighborhood, Brooklawn Gardens or Lakeview at Lakeview Drive, there is that camera, which means that camera can see every single time I leave my home and every time I get home. Same for all the residents. That camera can see when I go to work, when I come home from work, when I go to hang out with my friends, when I go to Walmart, ShopRite, get groceries, whatever. That camera can see and track everything. And in the state of New Jersey, that camera can hold information for 3 years, or not that camera, but we can hold this information for 3 years in the state of New Jersey. So for 3 years, there's a pattern being built, or they're building a case or a pattern of my entire life. What, like I said, work, school, friends, whatever I want to do. So now I feel like that's a little ridiculous. And I know I'm not the only one. As Councilwoman Novak said, this is becoming a very popular issue. But just in general, flock cameras are a travesty. I mean, I'll say right now, countless. There are countless situations across the country in which officers may be tracking and harassing women, just following them as they go from camera to camera to camera, where the camera misreads license plates, and all of a sudden now officers think that someone stole a car and they're approaching this car after pulling them over with their guns drawn and whatever, creating dangerous situations. And also, not to mention, like I said, my neighborhood, but not just my neighborhood, other neighborhoods like Winding Woods and such seem to be particularly targeted because they have cameras at the entrances of these neighborhoods. And yet, as far as the information is public, I looked up the addresses of all you guys. Pretty much none of you guys have cameras at the entrances of your neighborhoods for understandable reasons. Nobody wants that. So for all intents and purposes, this is like a 24/7 virtual police checkpoint at the entrance of my neighborhood and along major roads in our town, which isn't, that's not acceptable. This is America. What are we doing with police checkpoints, essentially, right? I mean, it's not even like crime is that high in Sayreville to warrant this level of surveillance. And so it feels like, I mean, not even Big Brother, but Sayreville PD is always watching. But it's not just Sayreville PD. I mean, Flock is a nationwide system with a nationwide database. Whether you're in Sayreville, whether you're in South Amboy, whether you're in Allentown, Pennsylvania, these Flock cameras are constantly tracking you. And this all going to a national AI database where these AI companies are using information, this pattern that they're, like my patterns, my life, that all my movements are all going to some random AI company. I mean, Flock says they use AI tools in their cameras to be able to make money off of, create a profile of me, of you, of everybody, and create a profile and then also make money off of it. This is a complete violation of any sort of privacy or anything. I mean, like in the world my dad grew up, or even the world you guys grew up, that did not exist. And I think we have a right to grow up in a similar, like people my age. I'm glad these Boys and Girl Scouts are here, because our age, we shouldn't have to grow up with people, with police constantly watching our every movement. And I mean, even just the idea of speaking against this. I mean, the Flock CEO has said that people who speak out against Flock cameras are domestic terrorists. So I'm a domestic terrorist for standing here speaking out against that. Why are we as a borough paying $180,000 to a company to set up cameras everywhere to support people calling us domestic terrorists because we don't want to get surveilled, because we want to live a similar life not getting tracked just like my father did, it's ridiculous. And for that reason, I mean, I'm about to run out of time, but thank you guys.
Okay,
Excuse me, Mayor,
young man, go ahead, Sash.
I'd like to make a comment. I live on the street right off of Main. It's called Robin Hood Drive. And I actually welcome that camera. I think it's pretty good. You're speaking a lot against the negatives, but on the positives, since the Parkway exit and entrance have been put on Main Street, the thefts and everything else in Sherwood Forest area has tripled, quadrupled. So I think with that there, plus all the bus traffic that we have with school buses coming into Truman School and everything else, I think it's a definite safety factor for if there's an accident, nobody's pointing fingers at anybody. You could just say, you look at the camera and see what happened. So for me, in my area, I am not against it at all. I don't think it's I'm not hiding anything. You can see how many times I ride up and down the street. It doesn't make a difference. But for me, I think it's a great idea for Saraville.
Councilwoman Novak asked the BA to set up a public forum on this. That would be a good time to come. My understanding is since we installed the flock cameras, it's been very instrumental in resolving a lot of crime or some crime here in town. Sometime when I was I'm 73. When I was a kid, you could walk around with a pillowcase trick or treating, and there was never a concern. You can't do that anymore. So times have changed, and unfortunately, you have to be aware of it, and you have to. One of the things that's changed as far as police work goes is, I don't know, a year or 2 years ago, they broke into the drugstore here on Main Street and they went after the narcotics. And they got them. And then they raced out of Saraville at a very high speed, jumped on the parkway. Police are not allowed anymore to engage in high-speed pursuits. That being said, I think, did the flock cameras catch Eunice's murderer?
A similar platform. I don't know if it was exactly flock.
Okay, so they have, there's good and there's bad, but when we have the public forum, please come, all right? And first thing you need to do is understand them, what their track record is. It is a different world that we live in today, and it's a lot more violent than when I grew up, which was a long time ago. Unfortunately, you're facing it for the first time. Okay, I don't have an answer for you, but please come when we have the public forum on that. Heather?
Hello, it's me again. Heather Iannone, 15 Ida Street. I just wanted to kind of publicly come up and just thank not only the council members that did make it to the event yesterday. Saraville Historical Society hosted their Forging the Foundation event in honor of Saraville turning 150 years old this year. Of course, in line with the country turning 250 years old. We wanted to do something to really highlight some of the history of our great borough. And so this event, Forging the Foundation, 150 bricks for 150 years, that took place yesterday, was just a really wonderful time. We had probably close to about 200 people in attendance throughout the day. Not everyone made a brick, but I think we definitely hit our 150 mark. And it was really great. We had people making pinch pots. We had the museum open. We had book sales going, a kids corner. And, you know, I can't thank the members of the Saraville Historical Society enough for their help in making this event such a success. But I also can't thank the residents of Saraville enough for coming out and really, one, supporting us, and two, supporting our history. I just totally blown away with, even though the weather was kind of on the fence, we still had a really great turnout, and the energy was just incredible. One more thing I want to touch on. I know that you had mentioned that the Historical Society was going to be in the conversation moving forward. I was just curious on if we had a roundabout time. I know you said like within the next week we'd be notified. Who's going to notify us? Who should we look out
Process
for?
will start by me discussing with you when you and your colleagues are available, and then we'll work on the professional staff that needs to join you.
Perfect. I'm sure you have plenty of our contact information at this point. So reach out to any of us and let's get that going as soon as possible. It's been a long time coming. Thank you.
Thank you. Arthur? Arthur?
Thank you, Mayor. Arthur Rittenhouse, 33 Delacat Lane. One quick follow-up on the firehouse. Now that it's a local historic site, are we going to start to apply for grants that are available out there, either from the county, local level, or from private people or legislators, all who for the past 2 years have told me they have money available? We could have had the roof fixed 2.5 years ago had this been done. That's all on the firehouse. The other thing I'm here as the chairman of the Sayreville Shade Tree Commission. We're starting a program because we found that many of the public, most of the departments in town do not understand the Shade Tree Commission ordinance or the tree bank ordinance. So we are going to be starting a program. We already spoke at the planning board regarding this. We're going to be holding some public meetings so that people are fully aware. People are cutting down trees and not getting permits, and in developments, trees are being cut, and we're not getting money for the tree bank. We have a situation on Washington Road where the temple has cut down probably hundreds of trees, and we can't get an accurate number. The construction department can't figure out how many trees there were. And we asked them for that, and we're not getting a response. And the other thing is, we are meeting with Councilman Zabrowski and Councilman Rios, who's our liaison, because unfortunately, the Shade Tree Commission isn't treated like other commissions in the town. Thank you.
Bob? Thank you, Mayor. Bob Duffy, 111 Merritt Avenue. I want to speak about the data centers. A couple of meetings ago, we had a couple of union men come in here and swear how great they are. And I did a little research and everything. Their best time would be going after on the picket lines of non-union construction companies, not to the borough. I just giving you some information to help you out. In Piscataway, there are 14 facilities of data centers operated by 10 operators. One operator has 4. That's Digital Realty. If you go on their website, right there in the center of their website, they advertise a company that does noise control. So if they are telling you, if you want us to do it, you got to hire this company to control the noise. The other thing is that if the borough rents a van, Went to where, Bob? rents a van, I am willing to take the council, one or all, to Virginia, to the Data Alley, so you could see for yourself. I will drive the van on my dime. Just so you see, educate yourself. Don't listen to everybody. This way you'll see it firsthand. Okay? If the town, I don't want to rent the van. I'll drive the van. And you know that I do that for a living for years. The other issue I have is you talked about your dealings with the education board, Board of Education.
Right.
You have a good rapport with them.
Right.
Why do they take $16 million and put it on the side for something coming in the future? That's what they did on their budget. In the meantime, there are residents in this town that may add $100 to their tax, and they're making ends meet. That $100 can break them. So I would think that you should negotiate with them or do what you have to do with them, and they shouldn't be putting $16 million for a project down the road. Because the next year, when they turn around and they do their budget, are they going to be 16 million less? Or are they going to go from the 16 million in the budget more? It's just mathematics. But they should have no right to do that. And if they do that, where are they putting the money to get interest on it? Sitting in a bank account isn't helping anybody. And I have another issue, but I don't have enough time. I'll sit down and hope you'll let me come up another later on. Thank you.
Thanks, Bob.
But
And
take that offer. I'll take you to Virginia. I have the town. It's
Loudoun County.
London, right. It's 250 miles, 4.5 hours.
Yeah.
I'll be willing to take you down and back. I wouldn't leave you there.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Scouts. Thanks for coming tonight. Thanks for everything you do.
Hi, Mason.
Ken Olszewski, Saraville. The firehouse next door, the damage that was done, apparently, as I understand, from removal of the safe. When did that occur?
You know, Jay?
I believe it was the fall of last year when they were doing the remediation work.
Okay, well, the fall of last, that's what I thought. Well, this is almost Labor Day. Why is this resolution taking so long to get done? It seems kind of a long time to have damage. Have they owned up to the damage? Where does this stand? This doesn't make any sense. Anybody tell me?
No, no.
All right.
I only knew the extent of the damage when the pictures were posted on Facebook. And I saw the gap about this big in the fascia brick, but the brick wall behind that has got a gap about this big in it. And I only knew about that when I saw the pictures. Before that, I just thought it was the small crack on the
Seems
fascia
quite
brick.
irresponsible to have it to that period of time. Talk about other irresponsible things. I'm getting back to the safe. The safes were thrown in the garbage. I mean, this is something from the building built in 1909. They were probably purchased right after they moved in, and nobody thought to look at that. Who was in charge of, Councilman Sonarski said at the last meeting, as I recall, he was only going to vote for historical preservation if you could be in charge of it. Who in the world is in charge of that? Throwing the safes in the garbage? That's, maybe we should have the kids in the first grade in school up the street in charge. They'd probably make more sense out of it than that. That sounds ridiculous to have something like that done. And talking about, thank you, Councilman, for I believe, September 24 report on downtown. When you discussed that, were there some things in there that didn't make a lot of sense? Purchasing the post office? The post office has no property. Do we know what the intention of that was?
I'll answer, but I don't want to take your time.
Yeah, yeah, okay, quick. Or you want to answer me when I'm done?
Well,
that might make more sense because they're going to blow out my time here. But I hope you'll incorporate the firehouse, which we already own, into that downtown plan. And the reason I asked that question before, it seems like a done deal that we're going to put offices in there. You talk about something long enough, it becomes a done deal. But I have heard no discussion about that. I've heard no votes, no discussion on what we're going to do with that. Where are the discussions? I've said from time to time, we don't have any agenda meetings. I guess if you call that when they blow past things here every 10 seconds, anybody objection? No. Next one, no. Is that the agenda meeting? Nothing gets discussed. And you can see the result of that, things like this, things about all the lawsuits that the borough is involved in. They're the kind of things that I talked last month at the meeting and said, the governing body doesn't have too good a reputation for following up and doing things. And that's what I'm talking about. And I'd like to know where the common sense is. Who is in charge? Who's in charge of public buildings here? You know, we always had, that was a committee. What committee now controls public buildings? Public Works Control. Did anybody ask you, Councilman, about the safes?
I wasn't aware until I saw the pictures.
It sounds just highly irresponsible to blow out borough property and throw it in the garbage and damage buildings on the way in. And I'll sit down, Councilman, maybe you can tell me about the ideas behind buying a post office and the funeral home. I've heard the funeral home has said over my dead body. Would that happen? No pun intended. Yeah, maybe you can tell us a little bit about that and incorporate this plan here on the firehouse that we haven't all come to a conclusion. Oh, there are going to be offices now, especially since I know you said you like this building, but I've seen it plenty of places. And one of them is online, where one of those publications said, you know, the mayor said we may be moving down to Riverton. Thank you.
Just to go back to that study by Sarah, the purpose was to take a really hard look at what we have down in the downtown area. And we received a number of suggestions, some that were easy to do and some that were not so easy to do. And part of the suggestion certainly was to have the borough anticipate or look at purchasing some property in order to be able to bring the area up to help improve the area. Now, obviously, the borough is not in a position to do that, but when you have a consultant, they give you pretty much a textbook of the simplest to the most difficult or most complicated, and the most complicated was those. The suggestion behind it is actually that you want to be able to make a center of create a center of the Main Street area in order to make more foot traffic, more people to come in and to get involved in that area. And I think the idea was actually a community center or something of that nature, so it's walkable, it's near the parks and what have you. I can't understand, at the end of the day, I don't believe that there's anything that's actionable because we don't own that property, but that was a suggestion from varied sources of how best to go about looking at improving the downtown area. As far as the firehouse is concerned, we specifically excluded that because it was the time for the surrounding the referendum, and we didn't want it to be included because we didn't want to make it an issue beyond what it was already an issue. Happy to relook at that at some point when we look at the downtown area again, and exclusive of this building too, which I think is grand. And I greatly appreciate this building. Hope I answered your question.
Signs that limit the time on parking, that's a great, I don't know whose idea that was, but that's a good idea for business, to 1 hour or 2 hours parking. That's a very good idea.
It also has to be enforced a little bit more as well. That's the next step in making sure that we can get more parking down in that area. So thank you for raising that.
Anyone else? Frank? Oh, I'm sorry. Frank, let me get the Scoutmaster. Yeah, go ahead.
So on my citizen hat, Brant Wright, Pulaski Avenue, got a quick question. Last month, when you guys voted on the elevator, it was 180,000. This month, it's 200,000. So,
Simple explanation.
right, but shouldn't there be a revote? Because the monetary value changed.
That's why it's on here for resolution.
Okay.
The difference, one was repair, one was replace.
No, last month it was
It
voting for
was,
the
but
replacement.
that was working off an estimate. This is a definitive number, which is why it was on tonight for a resolution, which means the resolution will get approved at the next, or was for tonight. So now we have official permission with the accurate price to move forward.
Okay. Just, that caught me off guard because the monetary difference in.
Us too.
Yeah. The second thing is Comcast was here.
Yes,
What's the word on that?
they're coming, well, we didn't vote on it tonight. Was it?
Right, they were tight-lipped because, secrecy, but.
No, they reached out to to start the process by getting the right-of-way agreement. So I'm working with their attorney now to negotiate, get the right-of-way agreement so they can utilize our right-of-ways to install their equipment and facilities and fiber lines, and then that's where it will go from there.
So they're at the senior center.
We had a meeting at the senior center for the public. There were only
Yeah.
about 15 of us there.
Oh, I didn't see that.
And basically, the cable's coming over the South River Bridge. They're gonna do what I call Sayreville proper first. I live in Parlin. I'm not gonna be the first rollout area. Melrose and Morgan are not
Not
also.
included.
Winding Woods isn't, William Street out there isn't. So they're coming from, is it
Here to the
Bordentown or
train station,
Washington
yeah.
Road to the river, to the parkway, I think. Horseshoe Road, I think, is gonna be included.
And they're going to give the same community 3% back to the township as,
Joe hasn't got
Optimum.
there, but they're not coming in any cheaper.
that's obvious.
No, their cost is not gonna be cheaper than who's here.
Right. But they're still going to give the 3% community of each bill.
Well, we haven't negotiated it yet,
Okay.
but that will be part of our negotiations.
Okay. And that's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening. I don't know if you're going to be able to hear me or not because the voice isn't so good.
Okay.
I want to say thank you for being able to speak here tonight. My name is Dorothy McGee. I live at 53 Fanwood Drive in Sayreville for 58 years. And I'm here tonight, and I thank you for letting me speak tonight about the referendum that is moving forward, that I know legislation was passed in 2012, I believe, the LOSAP legislation. I'm very happy to be able to say that it is finally moving forward for our volunteers. But I feel that there was a mistake that was made eliminating and not putting down the auxiliary police as part of the volunteers. It mentioned the fire and it mentioned the EMS that Mary has been involved in for many years, which I know. I believe there was an error made in that, or an oversight, that the police auxiliary were not included in it.
Wait a minute. Go ahead. Go ahead.
First of all, nice to see you. It's been a long time.
Yeah,
And you look
I
very
saw your
comfortable with
dad
1,000
not
Boy
that
Scouts in
long
here. I
ago.
wonder where you got that from. The statute which the state establishes does not include special or auxiliary police, so we're limited to what we can offer that benefit to. But I do know somebody reached out to you,
Yeah.
Mrs. Novak reached out to Speaker Coughlin in an attempt to get that law amended. And when that happens, they would absolutely be included. But as of right now, the state only provides for fire and EMS under that program.
Yeah, I think when I read through all that, I did read where the governing body can put in the ones that they,
Right now, we can't add that, who gets LoSAP. And I've talked to Craig about that. As a matter of fact, periodically, I remind him that he promised he was going to look into it, because he himself, and I'm assuming most of the legislators, did not realize that police auxiliaries they don't get paid. Specials get paid, but auxiliaries don't.
that's correct.
So he said that he was going to work on adding that to the state legislature, and then they would automatically be included in anything that we did as a town. But right now, ours can only do what the state allows us to. But Dorothy, trust me, I'm probably becoming a pain in the neck, because I keep calling him and reminding him. It's not on the top of his list, so I got to keep pushing it up on his list of things to do.
know.
But I'm working on it. It's really not fair. They do a tremendous amount for this town, for every town.
That's what I was concerned
Yeah,
about.
I'm
There's
working on it.
so much that they do.
Yeah,
and,
a lot.
I mean, there's ones there, and have been there for as long, I think, as Chief Zabrowski was, which is 34 years.
Yep.
And I mean, they're out there all the time, standing in the middle of the street.
We couldn't,
They're not even.
we couldn't
they don't
survive
even
without them.
have any protection, basically. They're standing out there as targets, crossing everybody across the highways during the busy times that we have there at Sayreville, at the park. And it just got to me when I read your article, which I read in the, I guess it's South Amboy Sayreville Times. And when I saw that, I said, oh my word, because they've worked under you and you know the stuff that they do. And I thought, gosh, this has to be an error of some sort, and I wish that before it went to the public, I wish she could add just those 3 little words,
Good news is. it can be-
volunteer
Yeah, if-
it can
auxiliary
be amended
police.
if they do pass it.
If the referendum passes one way or the other, who's ever listed will get it. The auxiliary would get it too. But we got to get them on there first, and that requires the state. I'm working, believe me. I'm not going to let them forget about it. It's not a priority
You
for them. It
could
is for
put
me.
them on the referendum?
It won't necessarily have to be on the referendum. That's just to ask the residents if they're willing to increase the LoSAP donation that the town makes. If the auxiliary is added to the the state allowing us to do it, it would be automatic. But
So
right
it
now,
does
it's
have
just,
to go to the state.
yeah, the state's
first.
got to correct theirs first.
Okay.
But I'm working on it.
I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody, doing this or moving it forward, because, you're not going to get volunteers. And you even mentioned you wanted to try to get volunteers. And how are you going to get volunteers when they give so much service and they don't even get anything like this, for all their service? And I'm very proud of, my son, that he has volunteered to this town for this many years and has given of his time, because he is a very busy person. I have to say that, because sometimes I don't even get to see him. So I just want to thank you for your time. for
Thank you,
listening,
Dorothy.
And it was a pleasure to be here.
Okay, Frank?
Thank you, Mayor. Frank Gisino, Canal Street, Sayreville. First, I want to wish Bernie a recovery. I had a note till this evening that he's in a hospital, so we wish him the best. I'd like to thank I know Heather was up here earlier thanking the society, the members, the volunteers, and that guy Mark back there not paying attention. Uh, the volunteer, they do a great job for us, and I'm very proud of them. They put their heart and soul into it, and it shows. Yesterday, it was a proud moment for me. I'm just watching everybody just doing their thing, and everybody was so happy, and it was just a great event. So I just want to thank everybody that came yesterday, and not just yesterday, but all our events. They really show up, and we appreciate it. I also want to thank the DPW, roads, parks, sanitation, buildings and grounds. For the last few years, when we do things, if I need something, it's right there. Those guys are great. I had 14 years on the sanitation, and I miss it because it was a great group of people, but they're doing a good job. I also want to thank the road department. They donated a bench to us, the concrete benches that old Red Grabowski used to sit on by the road department. They painted up for us, and they put it by the museum in the back. So that was great. Those benches also wound up on Patriots Veterans Road. They used to have the concrete benches there. That's one of them. So we thank you for that. Recently, we had to weed whack the firehouse next door. The grass was just high in the back.
Great job.
Yeah, we just wonder if we can include that in our maintenance, regular maintenance in town, because if it's possible, because it looked like hell. I tried to adopt it last year, adopt the spot, but we needed a resolution for that, and I didn't feel like going through that nonsense. But if we can put that on a list, or I'll even do it, I don't care. But it needs to be sparkling. And the damage happened November 6th, about 1 p.m. I was 2 minutes away when it happened. I was right after it happened. And so that's that. Here's number 5. All right, again, Saj, you mentioned about the windows and all that. I spoke to Dave Pavlik quite a few years since he retired. We keep in touch, and we talked about the windows and the doors. He put in for 2 or 3 times to have them replaced about 20 years ago, and they were all denied. So it was neglect on whoever was sitting here at the time. They didn't fix anything. It was all neglected. So Dave tried, and it got shut down. I think that's all I have to say. I look forward to the meetings. We get back, let's move this thing forward and have a good time at it, because the world is stressful. We don't need it here in our own hometown. We just gotta, let's just do the right thing. And as far as data centers, I have yes or no on them. My thing is open space, leave it open. Why do you have to build something there? You got foxes, deer running around, and you're gonna eliminate them. Just leave it open space. And that's my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Frank.
Hey, Frank, next time, let me know, and I'll come out with my weed walker, and I'll help you out.
Okay, I'll give you directions to my house.
No, that's just for the firehouse.
Oh, okay. And thank you for those kind words earlier.
No problem.
Bob, go ahead. The mayor is going to take a quick break, and we can continue with public portion.
Bob Duffy, 111 Merritt Avenue. I have a problem that happened a year ago in town, and I went to certain people in town. It was an employee of the town that jeopardized my neighborhood and also the township. And then after the problem, I spoke to Kurt Mick. It was in his department that he has to do something about that, what happened. He was a little taken back of what happened. Nothing, 3 months went by, nothing. Then I went and I spoke to Ken Kelly, the mayor's liaison, in reference to this, and he agreed that something should be done to the employee. I said, okay. Well, that went on for 4 months, nothing. And then I had a closed meeting with Glenn, and Glenn agreed, And he also said to me, give it time. Well, it's 8 months later, Glenn, and nothing's been done. So I'm asking the mayor, which he isn't here, that he should do something with the officials or the executives that are running certain divisions in this town. And I commend the mayor for acknowledging employees that do very well. But what about the ones that jeopardize the residents and this township? They do nothing. You can't turn around and fire a person or give him time off. You shouldn't be in an authority position, period. That's why you're in that position, to do that hard work and good work. So I think the mayor should do something about this, and the council, and Councilman Reyes. It's in your area. Investigate it and then do the proper things. I worked 6 years on this project, and one mistake by an employee in town almost killed everything. And it was at a planning board meeting, and John knows it well. And I turn around, if the applicant took it an appeal to New Brunswick, 90% of the time they get what they want. It would have destroyed my neighbors and my neighborhood. And not to get 1 day off to let them know that you did something wrong is terrible. It's over a year now, and nothing was said to this kid. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Anybody else in the public like to speak? Sure, go ahead.
I'd like to start out with a little quote. I hope you guys are still in the America 250 mood. I know it's last month, but this is from Thomas Jefferson writing to James Madison. He said, I prefer, I prefer dangerous freedom over safe slavery. Now, I'm not saying we're slaves. We don't have chains or collars or anything like that. But just like a dog with a collar, we're being tracked, right? Councilman Sinarski, you had said you don't mind getting tracked if you drive back and forth wherever you go because, you know, you're not doing anything wrong, right? It's your car. Well, what's the point of the Fourth Amendment? Why should you object to being unreasonably searched or anything getting seized if you got nothing illegal on you? That's not the point. The point is you don't trade away certain rights or certain freedoms, certain liberties just for safety. That's not what America was ever about. So just being able to track wherever we go, that gives way to building a big government. I believe you're a Republican. What happened to party of no big government? Why should the government be able to track where we go? I mean, like, sure, maybe some particular crimes have gone down. That is very helpful. But I mean, we have a pretty capable police force anyways. I don't think they need checkpoints at entrances to neighborhoods or intersections to be able to enforce and protect us. And yeah, I appreciate you, Councilwoman Novak, for being proactive by mentioning today about the concerns about flock cameras. But I also have to kind of ask where the foresight was in the first place. I mean, this was an AI-driven surveillance camera company. Anybody who's worked with or around AI understands just how many issues there are with AI, with having these AI trackers pinging. I mean, I don't know exactly how it works on the police side of things, whether they just get pinged or what, but anybody who looks at how AI works understands that it is an extremely problematic and an extremely new tool. And so to immediately turn around while this is so new and say, yeah, let's equip our police force with this is, there's like a lack of foresight. And the fact that it was just kind of considered, I mean, I watched the council meeting in which those flock cameras were approved. Nobody said anything, just silence, just boom, approved, nothing. Nobody even thought twice about it. Maybe because we didn't know what was going on, but why approve AI-driven surveillance cameras if we don't know what it even is, what it even does, what it can do? I mean, the same Flock CEO who called people domestic terrorists for being anti-Flock also admitted a few days ago that there was a lot of problems with the rollout of Flock cameras. I mean, when I say countless, I mean countless incidences. I mean, again, also another thing, Councilman Sinarski, you don't have to worry about is, you're not a woman. You don't have to worry about police officers possibly tracking you and harassing you like has happened to so many women already in this new technology. Because, it's just, as you move along, they can see where your car's going, right? That's not something you have to worry about. You also don't have to worry about facing undue violence. Like I said, if they're tracking a stolen, quote unquote, stolen car, they see you, they see your age, they say, okay, he probably didn't steal that car. I'm not going to come out guns drawn. But if they see a younger man of color, and they see, oh, this is a stolen car, they come out guns drawn, yelling, ready to do what they got to do. But the thing is, they didn't have to do that in the first place because that car was not stolen. It's things like that again, it seems like a lack of any sort of foresight. It seems like, okay, cameras, whatever, let's just add them. But I mean, just like these AI data centers, these AI flock centers, anything with AI requires more than just one thought. It needs a second thought, a third thought, a fourth thought, and requires just a lot more foresight, period. But I thank you guys for having that public forum for flock cameras, and I look forward to it.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Less than a minute, John. Ken Olszewski, Sayreville. Do you ever drive down the highway and have a car come flying by you and make 8 or 10 lane changes within your view? I would love to have cameras there to get those people off the road because they're the kind of people that are going to kill either me or somebody else on that road. So I value privacy. There's plus and minus to everything, but there are a lot of crazy people in the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Kim. Anybody else like to speak? Otherwise, I'll motion for,
I just wanted to add on that subject
We
that,
can close the public portion.
yeah.
can we get a motion, close the
Sure.
vote?
Motion to close?
Got it. Aye.
Good.
I just wanted to add that I don't think that these questions that they have about the flock cameras, I don't think they're calling them domestic terrorists is fair. I think we should have these discussions, and I look forward to what we can put together and have like a town hall type where we can discuss ways and for the public to understand this better, and if there's ways to maybe restrict certain things. But yeah, I'm all for discussion.
Yep, we're looking forward to the opportunity and they get set up and hearing from our staff and also from our residents.
I just have one comment, not on flock cameras. The last DOT meeting on what they're doing down there by Bordentown and Burlew and everything. I have listened to this and it has become, just keeps mushrooming and mushrooming and mushrooming, and it's getting bigger and bigger. We're taking people's property. We're taking somebody's whole property in their house. And then at the end of it, when the discussion came up on how safe are the two circles they're putting in, how safe are they? And they said, 80% safe. And I thought to myself, So 20 out of every 100 cars are going to have an accident there. That's worse than we have now. And I'd like our council to think about this, and maybe we should tell the DOT that they should go back to the drawing board, because that's absolutely ridiculous. If they're going to make it less safe than it is now, I was on the first aid squad, and I rode active for 13 years. It wasn't 20 out of every 100 cars that had an accident there. Yeah, we had a lot of accidents. They're going to create more of a problem there was before. Just close the damn ramp from Route 9, and it'll save a lot of problems. But I really wish the council would think about this, and maybe we can come up with a resolution to tell the DOT to go back to the drawing board, because this is, by the time they're done in 2030, it's going to cost billions of dollars, and it won't be any safer than it is right now.
I agree.
Oh, thank you, Mary. Thank you, Mike. I don't know if the rest of you did, but I did write an objection directly to the DOT. I implore you all to do the same thing, because I think we are in agreement that it's a far too ambitious project, and quite frankly, can be handled much safer in a different fashion. Unless there's any other comments, can I take a motion for adjournment?
Second, yep.